all right. And, oops. Am I sharing my screen now?
Yes.
Is it a PowerPoint?
Yes.
The PowerPoint
Is it big?
It is now.
What key is this in anyway, is the name of it? Can you all see that? Okay. All right. So, and remember, I haven't been teaching for a while, so I'm taking it all out on you guys. Here we go. All right. If you have questions, I don't know, I guess wait till the end or put them in the chat or something, okay? All right. So, we're just going to talk about major keys tonight. Minor comes in later, okay? All right. So, when flats are used, we'll start with flats. When flats are used, they always show up in a specific order, okay? And it is this order, B-E-A-D, so it spells the word bead, and then G-C-F. Well, all my kids in the high school said GCF stood for greatest common factor. So they could remember bead and then greatest common factor. Now I have to tell you a little thing about me. When I was in high school, I was in theory class when I was a junior, and we were told this B-E-A-D and then come up with something that was GCF. And the first three words that popped into my head were great cat food. So I have no idea why. Okay, so anyway, so if there's one flat, they will always be a B flat. Okay, and when there's two, there's a B flat, and then there will be an E flat. And you're reading from left to right, just like the word B-E-A, if there are three. If there are four, you have B-E-A and D. Are you following me? Just memorize that order of flats. B-E-A-D, G for 5. B-E-A-D, G, C flat. And why don't you say ahead, what is it on set? We're 7, B-E-A-D, good cat food, right? Yeah, there it is, F flat. Okay,
hey, Lori,
so
can I bust
yeah.
in for a second?
Yeah, please.
I don't know if you're looking at the chat, but Connie wants to know what the difference between a flat and a sharp is.
A flat, like if I have a B, if I put a flat, it's going to lower that B by half a step. And if I have a sharp, I could have a B sharp, it's going to raise that B a half a step. So sharps go up or higher a half a step, and flats go lower a half a step. And I cannot see the chat, so Jana, just bust on in for me, okay, wee honey? All right, so here, you have to do some memory work. Let's see, oops. Some memory work. If there's no sharps or flats, and it just says, it looks like there's no key signature, but that is a key signature with no sharps or flats. And this is how I help my little kids remember this. I go, from C to shining C, has no sharps or flats. I know it's dorky, but nonetheless, from C to C. So if you started on the letter C on the piano and just played all the white keys, that would be the correct major scale. That's another lesson, not tonight. Another thing you just have to remember. So these are the two that are memory work. If you learn B-E-A-D, G-C-F, you can figure out absolutely everything else from that, okay? You have to remember when there's only one flat. When there's one flat, this is the one exception to the flat rule. So if there's one flat, it's the key of F major, okay? All right, I'm gonna move on. So here's the rule for finding flat keys. This, again, major keys. The next to the last flat is the name of the major key when flats are in the key signature. So let's check this out. Okay, how to find major keys. If there are two flats, remember the order, B, E, it's only two, so we can stop there. The next to the last one is the name of the key. So back up one. If there are two flats in the key signature, it is the key of B flat major, okay? If there are three, they will be B flat, E flat, and A flat. And the name of the key, go back one, is E flat. And yes, you have to say E flat. And I'm sorry that I don't actually have a flat symbol on my keyboard that I could find, so I just used the lowercase b. It would be higher, if you could see it. It would be up here. Can you see where I'm marking in the yellow? It would be, instead of E flat down here, be E with the little flat sign would be up here, okay? So now, if there are four, they spell that word bead, right? B-E-A-D. Back up one. If there are four flats, the third one is the name of the key, which is A flat. If there are five flats, they are. B-E-A-D-G, back up one. D. Sometimes I just do this. Like with my kids, I say B-E-A-D-G, back up one. Here's the name of your key. B-E-A-D flat. Now, I don't say B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, because I can't think that fast. So I will just go B-E-A-D-G-C-F, and I'll write that down, and then I might put a little flat sign in it. You should do that if you're unfamiliar with this, because it makes a difference on what the key is called. Okay, if there are 6 flats, I think you probably have this pattern figured out, right? B-E-A-D-G, C flat, and you back it up to, it is the key of G flat. When you get all 7 flats, that's how many there are 7. The 6th flat will tell you the name of the key, and that is C flat. And boy, you just don't really want to ever have to sing or play in that key. Boy, there's just so many flats. Okay, so the order, say it with me. Okay, the order of, I know it's up there on the screen, but see if you can remember it. B, E, A, D, G, C, F. If you use greatest common factor or good cat food or whatever you want to put, that's the order that they show up in. Okay, so now we have the order of flats, B, E, A, D, G, C, F, and the order of sharps. Do you notice anything special about the order of sharps compared to the order of flats? And since I can't really have you answer, I'll say, yep, it's just backwards. Okay, so the first sharp, when there is one sharp, will be F. And then C, G, D. I had so much fun putting these arrows in, I gotta tell you. A, E, and B. Now, I was a music major in college. And when I had to do things with key signatures and all that kind of stuff, the first thing I would do on the edge of my paper is write down B-E-A-D-G-C-F. And then because I could see that, then eventually I was able to go F-C-G-D-A-E-B, which now, you know, I have memorized, but bead, G-C-F. Reverse it, put little sharp signs on everything, and that's your order of sharps, F-C-G-D-A-E-B. Okay, now here is the rule for finding a key when it's in with sharps. Okay, major key. Whatever the last sharp is, the one that's furthest to the right. Okay, like if I have 3 sharps, F, C, G sharp. G sharp would be what we'd call the last sharp. Okay, you want to go up a half a step from whatever that note is, and that will be the name of the major key. I have some examples here. Okay, here's a keyboard. Now I can't see any of you, so I know you may have all gone to sleep by now. But
Hey,
here,
Lori.
I hope, yeah.
Do you want me to look at the questions in the chat, or do you want to do them at the end?
You can look if there's things I need to address now.
Okay,
Are they
they're
with flats?
good. Major and minor, the difference between major and minor. Are we going to save that for another time, or do you
That's
want to quickly?
Yeah, we'll do that for another time, but I'll just demonstrate right now for you. Like if I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's a major scale. That's usually the ones we warm up on, unless it's wani or ooh, those are minor, okay? So in the minor scale has a lowered third. So instead of do, re, mi, which is major, it goes do, re, mi, fa, sol, le, te, do. You know what, let's leave that for another week. Yes, they're very different. And I'll throw out a little nugget of how you can tell, because I'm gonna have to show you on Hold On, that we actually start in a minor key. Okay, anything else, Jen?
Yes, Lynn wants to know, is an A sharp for the example the same as B flat?
If you can see this right here, right here, right here, it is the same note on the keyboard. Okay, they'll look different if they're written in music, because you'll have a sharp sign on an A, which is probably the second space if you're in the treble clef, or you'll have a flat sign on a B, which is the third line in the treble clef. So they will look different, but they will sound different. Now, in our tuning, and because we're Scottsdale, they're supposed to sound just a tiny bit different in their tuning. Okay, so this is a keyboard right here, and I just wanted you to see, like right here, I'm going to start with this C, because remember how I said from C to shining C has no sharps or flats? If you pressed all the white notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, you're going to have a major scale. All right, now these are the chromatics, or the half steps. And I'm going to go up and call them sharps and come down and call them flats. Okay, so C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Now between E and F, that is still, it's a half step. Even though it looks kind of larger on here because they're bigger keys, it's like do, 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 just a half step. So you have half steps between E and F and between B and C, okay? So E to F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and C. Now I've just done this middle octave right in here, okay? So if I go C, B, B flat, so if I take the note B and lower it half a step, call it B flat right here, okay? Then I go down to A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C. So I just want you to see how it moves. The very next note, whatever the very next note is, whether it's zigzagging like this or going straight across like this, that's the very next note. Those are half steps, okay? Any other ones, Jana?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you that here's the rule yeah, go up a half a step. I told you that already. So if there's one sharp, it is an F sharp. If you refer to your order of sharps, it starts F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, etc. When there's one sharp, F sharp, if you go up a half a step or go to the right or go higher, okay, from that sharp, because it's the first, last, and only sharp, okay? So we're gonna go up a half a step. Here's F sharp, half a step higher is G. So if you have one sharp, it's at the key of G. If we have two sharps, the sharps are F sharp and C sharp. So C sharp is what we call the last sharp. Here it is right here, okay? C sharp leads up to D. I kind of got good with just doing this as the alphabet until you get later. You just go, well, what's the next letter in the alphabet? Okay, D. But that will be a little different as we add more sharps. When there are three sharps in the key signature, we have F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So G sharp is the last one. So I'm gonna find, well, here's G, okay? So this one right here is G sharp, right? If we go half a step higher, we land on A. So if there's three sharps, it's the key of A. Four sharps, F, C, G, D. Here's D, and here's D sharp. Okay, so D sharp is your last sharp. It is the key of E major. All right, five sharps, F, C, G, D. A sharp is the last one. A sharp, here it is, right? Up a half step is B. Now here's where it gets kind of cool, okay? So F, C, G, D, A, E sharp. Well, here's E. Lori, there's no black note there. What do you mean E sharp? Well, if you remember, thank you for asking what the definition or what a sharp and a flat does. E sharp is a half step higher than E, which is this note right here, which we normally think of as F. It's called an enharmonic equivalent. It means it's going to sound the same, but it's going to look a little different, okay? Sort of like red, R-E-D, and red, R-E-A-D, okay? So this E sharp is going to go up a half step to F sharp, okay? Here's E, here's E sharp, and up a half to F sharp. And then here's the last one, 7 sharps. My Lord, who would do that? David Wright. Okay, F, C, G, D, A, E, B sharp. Here's the B, regular B. If we're gonna start with a sharp, it's over here. It's on this C sharp right here, yeah? So I marked it with this arrow, and then up a half, it is the key of C sharp major. All right, so now let's do a quick little review. The order of flats, remember B, E, A, D, and then whatever you use to remember, G, C, F, okay? B, E, A, D, G, C, F. That is the order they go in. And then next to the last flat is the name of the key. So I'm gonna circle this G flat right here. Let's see, there are 4, B, E, A, D flat, back up 1, should be the key of A flat. Okay, now there's one exception, and that's when there's one flat. The exception to the flat rule is F. Tried to make as many ones and sounds as I could to make that memorable. The order of sharps is the reverse order of flats. So if you remember B, E, A, D, G, C, F, then you got F, C, G, D, A, E, B. And the rule is from the last sharp, move a half step higher to find the name of the key, and no sharps or flats is the key of C major. Okay, any questions? And no, you don't have to have it learned perfectly, but I'm just saying that's a good start, okay? Jana, did any more questions pop up?
No. Lily says sharp keys go to the right and flat keys go to the previous notation.
No, so let's go back to that, oopsie, oops, end of slideshow. I don't want the end of slideshow, I want that key, there. Okay, so if let's just pick this D, it's right in the middle here. I don't know if Lily's looking, if you can see this.
I am.
Okay, babe, D sharp is this black note, and D flat is this black note. Okay, so sharps go to the right. I think of this too as sharp, like a knife edge is sharp. And look, I'm making it point this way. The edge goes up, and a flat goes down. Okay,
Right,
so
but
sharps.
When you're looking for key signature, you're
Okay.
when you're looking for the key signature,
Mhm.
that's what I'm talking about. You're trying to
You're
find
right.
what key it's in.
Sorry.
When you're
Okay, so
going to the
okay, stop.
flat, it
I'll
goes
tell you.
back and the other one goes forward.
Flats go within the order of flats.
Uh-huh.
They stay right within that order. Okay, but sharps, you have to go from the last one and then you go up like the keyboard or up in the alphabet.
But I
So-
thought you said flats go to the previous one.
They do.
Go to the previous one.
Yep, flats go to the previous one in the order. So if you have B flat and E flat and A flat, if you have 3 flats, B flat, E flat, A flat, back up one is the key of E flat. But that's all within the order, okay? And when you have sharps, you look at and you say, okay, there's 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. G sharp, now we're gonna go out of the order of sharps, and we're gonna go up a half step to whatever that next note is, and that happens to be A. Okay, I'll tell you more about it if you have more questions later, okay, Lil?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I want to stop sharing my screen. Oh, there it is, big red letters, stop share. Okay, so now let's look at, hold on, okay? Now, it's gonna kind of screw us up right away because, yeah, it's not a major key to begin with, but I can tell, for those of you who are like, oh, okay, I get key signatures, but I never know the difference between major and minor. Every key signature, there's 7 sharps, 7 flats, okay, so 14, right? And then C, so 15 major keys. There are also 15 minor keys. How about that? And they're all related to each other. It's all, once you figure it out. Okay, so now we have 4 flats. Say out loud, what are the names of the flats in order? Ready? B, E, A, D, right? 4 flats. If there are 4 flats, the 3rd flat is the name of the major key. So B flat, E flat, A flat. Now this could be A flat major, but it's not, okay? It's in its relative minor. Relative minor means it has the same key signature. Sort of like if you're a relative and you have the same last name, it has the same key signature, but it's minor. And if you go 3 half steps down, you will find the minor key. So if the major key is A flat, are we all there on the A flat, B flat, E flat, A flat when there's 4? Okay, if I see A flat, now some of you can picture a keyboard, some of you can't, okay? So we're gonna go down 3 half steps. G, G flat, F. Did you follow me? Here's A flat, move a step, G, G flat, F. This is an F minor. Okay, just write that down. Write a lowercase f if you want to do the theory thing. It would be a lowercase f and a little m. And that would be F minor. There you go. Would you also write the following 4 letters down for me? Just aside, you can do them in a square or something. B flat, C, F, and G. Those are the plus notes to help this minor tune, okay? I'm not going to bother you with plus notes anymore. Take a look, please, at measure 7. Measure 7. We had a key change, right? Can you see that? There's 3 natural signs, or 4 natural signs. They canceled out all those flats, and they left us with 1 flat. And when there's only one flat, the exception to the flat rule is, if it's a major key, it's the key of, give me an F, F. Okay, never mind. So that it's the key of F if there's one flat. And it is F major there. Okay, let's go to the next change. I would like for you please to put in the chat what the answer is if you can come up with it at measure 42. We went to 1 sharp. What's the rule with 1 sharp? Come on, guys. What key is it when you have 1 sharp? Oh my Lord, I'm seeing so many. Yes, yes, yes. It's a G. Good job. Key of G. F sharp is also, I don't want to mess you up by going half step, but you know how we go through the scale? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti is the last sharp. Do. So it's key of G. And then there's another change at 47. So we went F minor, the beginning, F major, not unusual. F major, up a whole step key change to G. And now we have one more key change. What are we key changing to? Thanks, Kirby's got it in there. Lenny's got it in there. What is the key signature with 4 flats? We kind of talked about this at the beginning. Yeah, just look at the chat. You'll see them. A flat. And this is major. So A flat. So we started off F minor, F major, yay. And then we went to G. We made a whole step, and now we've got a half step. Cool, huh? Okay, so I've talked too long and probably shouldn't have tried to go into all of that stuff, but hopefully it was helpful. If you think it was good for you to, and you learned a little something, you can leave me a note in the chat. Okay, so yeah, you can show me a thumbs up if you think you learned something from that right now. Anybody get a little deeper into key signatures? Yeah, outstanding. Thanks, Gianna. You put the real one up on your little thing right there. Okay, I am now gonna turn it over to